friends, and welcome back to playing tribute to Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. We're at Chapter 4, The Golden Court. Where, of course, Maya is under suspicion, because she has to be in every single game that she's in. And, oh, by the way, I did miss a few puzzles. They were sent to Riddle. I was given that notification after saving. So, we'll do all that. We'll do all that. Right now we have some problems here because Professor Layton has been turned into gold, and Maya is said accused of being the one to do it. So, oh, and the storyteller made it all happen. So, clearly a bit villainous here. I don't know what's going on with him, man. He's yeah, he's not great. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into it, because the parts have gotten longer, and I don't want to hold it up too much. It doesn't make sense. How has it come to this? The darn witch. Why did it have to happen to the professor of all people? You've got to believe me, Nick. I may be a spirit medium, but I'm no witch. Don't worry, I know it wasn't you. Say, have you seen Luke today? Poor Luke, oh my gosh. I haven't seen him since last night. Poor kid. He was crying all night. I didn't know what to say to him. I mean, that's fair. No kidding. He's the one suffering the most from all this. Poor kid. He probably needs some time alone with his grief. We should leave him be. Yeah, he shouldn't have to see this trial. It'd be too hard for him. Oh, hi there. What are you doing here? Oh, it's Espella. What are you doing here, Espella? Have you been cleared of the accusations? No, not yet. If only it was that easy. It's just that I'm not technically under arrest, so I got special permission to come here. I'm free to go wherever I like, within this building. I see. I heard about Mr. Layton. It's awful. He was such a good man. I'm sorry, Espella. Huh? What are you apologizing for? We were supposed to find clues connected to Bazella, but we couldn't find anything, and now the professor's been... No, don't say that. It's not your fault. And I don't believe a word of what they say about Maya. She isn't a witch. Thank you, Espella. Mr. Wright, would you mind if I assist you in court today? Huh? I know I may not be of much use, but I'll do what I can. I want to help you and Maya. Espella. Excuse me. Oh, hello. You're Grayar, butler of the late Master Belduke. I've come to inquire after Miss Maya. It is most regrettable what happened yesterday. Oh, thank you for coming all the way here. I was just thinking before I started this, I'm like, okay. Of course, the witnesses are going to come in. And we saw the two. We saw that, the fancy guy, or fancy woman. Is it a fancy woman? And the bard. That's Birdley. And then Luke running in. After everything had happened. We did not see the butler come in after everything happened. I'm just putting that out there. Oh, thank you for coming all the way here. You look really pale, Jean. Are you alright? I don't know why I'm changing her voice to have the accent. Oh, please don't worry about me. It's merely that since the incident, sleep has eluded me. Oh. I spent the night searching for Master's notes on alchemy. hope there may be some mention of a method by which something turned to gold may be reverted back to its original form. Oh, well, that's nice of him. You were looking for a way to rescue the professor. But human fate is often cruel. That's also why we must never lose hope. Jean? Defender, accused. The trial's about to start. Proceed to the chamber. Yes, we're coming. Nick? Cheer up, Maya. I'm not just going to let them sentence you. I just wish all this would stop already, whether someone's a witch or not. No one deserves to be burned. I know. I can't stand for it either. If you'll kindly excuse me now, I must return to my duties. No problem. We appreciate you coming to see us. Wait, is he wearing a different gem? Wasn't his gem purple the other day? Something's bothering me. Jean seems somewhat odd today. Let's go, Mr. Wright. The trial's about to begin. I think he's wearing a different gem. Oh dear. Oh, I hate seeing her in that cage above the fire.
The trial of Maya Fey shall now begin, as scheduled. Knights of the court, are you ready to cross your swords of justice?
Swords of justice.
Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum always has his sword ready for the work of justice.
Sword of justice.
Defense ready, Your Honor. At this stage, I've just got to give it all I've got.
It would appear the defender has thrown down the gauntlet, Sir Barnum. Now, before we begin, may I have a word with you, defender?
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor.
Last time we met, you stood in this court as an apprentice baker.
Right, that.
In all honesty, when I saw you for the first time, I thought to myself, a baker should stick to bread baking.
Is that so? What a fine first impression I made.
However, today you are not merely some befuddled maker of sweet buns. I'm obliged to fully recognize you as a knight of law and justice, on par with Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum.
Nice. Thanks, Judge.
Now may your duel begin. Fight bravely and expose the truth behind this heinous crime.
All right! We're all counting on you, Inquisitor Barnum!
I knew she was a witch as soon as I laid my eyes on her. She's got witch written all over her.
Is it because of the outfit?
Why not put the baker on trial? Bake the baker, I say!
Wow.
Barnum! Barnum!
Tough crowd.
Barnum!
They treat him like some sort of celebrity.
I think he basically is.
He may be adored by the crowds, but when he pointed his sword my way, you managed to shield me from his accusations. Maya clearly isn't a witch, so surely your victory is certain.
Thank you for believing in me, Espella.
Espella Cantabella. I have given you leave to come to this trial today. However, that does not mean that the charges against you have been dropped. Rather than worry about others, you should consider your own situation.
Take a chill pill, Barnum.
Thank you for granting me your permission, Inquisitor.
Oh, very nice. Well played, Espella. Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin your opening statement. As you wish, my lord. As usual, let us commence this trial by first recounting the events. If it pleases you, Sir Blue Knight. As, you wish, Inquisitor. Still can't get used to this terminology. This heinous crime occurred in the residence of the late Newton Belduke, the alchemist. Here's the sketch plan of his residence. Okay, so that's the servants' quarters, the butler's quarters, the little room there. And then that shows the alchemy circle, so there's that. This room, of a somewhat questionable nature, is the alchemist's study, in which the incident took place. The only ones present at the moment of the crime were the accused and the victim. No one else. Yeah, except for the witch that came out of the alchemy circle. The witnesses who arrived at the scene seconds later have indicated where they found the accused and the victim. Well, the sketch is accepted as evidence. The accused took Sir Layton's life with the most cruel of magic. A living man 1 second, a golden statue the next. Such wickedness. Magic that turns things into gold? Sure, why not? Several townspeople rushed to the room and paid witness to the horror of this magic. The accused has been captured and charged. Goodness, that is terrifying. Rumors have reached me that the victim was a most scintillating man. I'm not quite certain whether it was prior to or after, but incidentally, was this Sir Layton not the same hat-maker who attended our previous trial? No, he wasn't a hat-maker. Bizarre as it is. Sir Layton's profession and origin remain unknown. He was a stranger in the city, which is all we know. And you, sir, his acquaintance, you are an unusual presence in our city yourself. Yeah. Today's case certainly is peculiar. And that is not the last of the peculiarities, Lord. The alchemist's study has been the scene of another strange incident in the past. Ah, yes, I remember it as if it were yesterday. The mysterious death of Newton Belduke himself. Indeed, my lord. Regrettably, the only case of witchcraft still to remain unsolved in our fair city. The witch may have escaped her punishment back then. But perhaps today is the day on which both these mysterious crimes shall be solved. You can't seriously be blaming Maya for the death of the alchemist. She wasn't even here that long. Oh wait, no, they said that they were there for like 5 years or something. Oh gosh, wait. But they weren't, though. There for 5 years. Is time being weird? I don't... What are you implying? Patience, you will know soon enough, so suddenly pale blue nights. Oh, interesting. Seems the Inquisition has something up their sleeve. Now, Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin. Thank you, my lord. The Inquisition summons the witnesses to this malicious crime of witchcraft. Alright, so the Birdly Bard and the Fancy Lady. If only I'd made it to the room sooner. Yeah, he was just downstairs. Ugh. So technically he was as much a witness as the others were. Because they came in and then he came up and was like, oh my goodness. Maybe I could have prevented all this from happening. I won't let Maya take the rap for this. I'll find every single crack in her testimony and prove it wasn't her. Welcome to the Witch's Court, honorable witnesses. Now, let us hear your names and occupations. Oh no, what is he doing here? Oh no. Punching Bag? Is his last name Punching Bag? Oh gosh, what did I use for his voice last time? I am known far and wide as a mere Punching Bag. First, soon to be the new head of Punching Bag's retail organization, Pro.
Hang on!
Wait a minute, witness. What's that, Blue Squire? You're that guy from the previous trial. Just what the heck's happened to you? You look like you've been on one of those ultimate makeover shows. Whatever do you mean? My name is Amir Punchenbog the First, soon to be the head of Punchenbog's retail organization, Pro. What is the meaning of this, Inquisitor? I do not care to delve into this witness's personal affairs. Looks like he remembers him all too well. Witnesses, pray continue. Jeez. Oh, dearie, dearie me. It is I who usually asks the questions. I am, you see, but a humble teacher. Call me Miss Primstone. Alright, we have learned that witches are only females, so immediate suspicion on her. But no, she was outside, like, we saw her outside of the building. The children of Labyrinthia Primary School have the privilege of learning the truths about this world from me. Elementary school teacher, huh? So no, at least one witness seems sensible. Huh. The winds carry my song, its birdly stringing along. Parrot and bard assemble avant-garde. Oh, ensemble, sorry. My faithful muse here is Cracker the musical parrot. No one understands music like Cracker, aside from me, naturally. Oh. At least it's not another goat. What a smart bird. He just imitated that teacher perfectly. Oh, hey. Oh, man. He's having a rough go. Yes, I did know that he was going to be one of the witnesses. That's the last thing that I remember from this game. Because I was just like, wait a second, he has to show up as a witness, doesn't he? Because he ran in with the others. And I'm like, I think that's how it goes. Yeah, he's very much against us. Poor Luke. I'm Luke Triton. My occupation is the Professor's Apprentice. Luke? Luke, but why? What are you doing there? I made up my mind. I'm doing this for the Professor. A gentleman has to pursue the truth. But Luke, that's where the Inquisition's witnesses stand. I'll never forgive that witch. A gentleman shouldn't glare at people as if he wants to hit them in the face. Luke, your friend today can be your enemy tomorrow. Such is the hard reality of the battlefield. We're not in the battlefield. Witnesses, you will now hear your testimonies. Tell us all of this wicked incident which you have been unfortunate enough to witness. So I think our first thing to do is convince Luke that Maya's innocent, and to kind of talk him out of his little problem here. And then we'll see where we can go from there. I heard a scream and an incantation, and then when I entered the room, the victim was already all shiny. Mayhap something caused discord between erstwhile friends. Mr. Silcat had a knife at the ready in his hat. What? He had a knife? Victim of magic, sparkly and done for. I heard the staff fall on the floor. The Professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her right there, face to face. I see. Thank you all. However, one part of the testimony was somewhat confusing. You there, the singer. Singer, could you possibly mean me? Birdly the Bard, Your Excellence. Yes, that would be you, singer. This staff that you said, sung about. Oh, hello. It is as you suspect, my lord. This very witch's scepter. There are two different magic gems attached, meaning the perpetrator could have used two types of magic. Yeah, it would seem so. This gem here enables the use of a gold transmutation spell, Gold Ore. Makes sense? Just the word alone makes tiny hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Ha! That's the one, all right. That dreadful incantation that I, Emir Punchinbog, the first, also heard. Dearie, dearie me, I've seen that scepter. So I have. Clank. Tips over the golden man. The scepter falls. Not the witch's plan. Oh, dearie, dearie me. How dare she do that to the Professor? By the way, this witch's scepter was found on the floor near the victim. If you'll turn your attention to the sketch plans, it was located right here. Okay. Why was it way over there? Didn't the witch come from the alchemy circle? A scepter dropped by the accused would naturally tumble to exactly that spot.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, what you're saying amounts to nothing more than a baseless assumption. You're on edge today, so leave it. Is it because your friend is on trial? Perhaps you had better cool yourself down. Well, anyway, the court accepts the scepter as evidence. What's the other gem do, though? Thank you, my lord. What's the purple magic gem do? Transmutes the caster's target into solid gold, and the spell will transmute the closest target within range. Interesting. Inquisitor Barnum, may I ask you something? What is it now, sir? Good night. You know that one of the gems is for the spell Goldor. But what about the other one? A naive question. Huh? Naivete might not be hindrance to a baker, who spends most of his time amidst bread, but it can be your undoing here in court. Would a knight put a weapon in his enemy's hand? He's telling me to do my homework, huh? Mr. Wright, I'll look for information about that magic gem in the Grand Grimoire. Thank you, Isabella. That would be great. Just leave it to me. She seems very happy to help. Just hurry up. The defender may interrogate the witnesses. Alright. I think I need to press everything. Usual, methods.
Hold it!
And, oh, see, it flips down to all of them. It's not gonna, okay. So before in the last case, it only showed all the witnesses whenever they were going to say something. But now I think it's saying, okay, you're on your own. And, what is all this about, exactly? Does it have a poison symbol on it? What do you mean, Blue Squire? Your gaudy, colorful outfit. I mean, your attire was different last time. A little more modest. The Amir you knew back then is no more. I am a new man now, reborn into the higher echelons of society. Yeah, there's a skull and crossbones on it. What's he drinking? There's a skull and crossbones mark on that bottle. Enough idle chatter, the witness had a scream and an incantation, is that correct? Yeah, stick to the subject at hand, Phoenix. I mean, he's probably stalling for Isabella to be able to find that spell, but still. That's right, it's just like what you said earlier, Mr. Barnum. It was the spell Goldor, and was without a doubt the voice of the accused that said it. However, it is rather peculiar. When I saw the accused and the victim together last time, they seemed to be on friendly terms. The next witness will dispel your doubts, my lord. So the knife is a questionable thing. Are you saying you think they quarreled? The other day, I saw you all together in this very court, and you were evidently friends. Yeah, it's true, but what's that got to do with... Now, everyone, listen carefully. No chatting in the back row. What I say now will be on the next exam. Miss Brimstone's lesson number 5. Friendship leads into nothing but trouble. What? People would not break up and part their ways in anger. But they did not become friends in the first place. What? So much for sensible. The kids in her class must grow up to be model citizens. Oh, dearie, dearie me. What I saw in that room curdled the blood in my veins. Mr. Silkhat was pointing the glittering knife ever so threateningly. What's that, Luke? You got a problem?
Hang on!
Is everything okay, Luke? No, of course it's not okay. The professor was a true gentleman. And no gentleman would go around threatening people with knives. Couldn't agree more. Silly boy, I saw your professor pointing a knife. Are you insinuating that I'm a liar, you cheeky little whippersnapper? The professor would never do that. You don't know him. At least Luke's found someone else to antagonize. Mr. Wright. What is it? I think there was some important information in Miss Princeton's testimony. Really? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not my place to say things like that. I didn't notice anything. What could that be? What's Isabella about to say? Go ahead, Isabella. Isabella, why don't you tell us all what you noticed? Oh, is that okay? It's just something I'd like to ask Miss Brimstone about. Well, just go ahead and ask her. Excuse me, Miss Brimstone? Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, it's you! Miss Isabella Cantabella. Miss Brimstone, did you actually see the knife that Mr. Layton was holding? I did, as a matter of fact, yes. I remember that glinting blade very well. Most frightening sight it was, too. And you saw that from the door, didn't you? Now, if we look at the sketch... When the incident took place, Mr. Layton must have been facing this way, correct? It must have been the case, otherwise the witness wouldn't have been able to see it. Well, that's all I wanted to ask. The more information we have, the better, right? He was pointing away from Maya, the direction the professor was facing. It'll be important. This information shall be added to the court record. I'm sorry I jumped in like that, but I really wanted to help. Not at all, sir. We were able to get some more info, which might just come in handy. You think so? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to continue the testimony. Okay. Oops. Okay, the staff fell on the floor. This is it.
Objection!
Luke, you said that you will only believe what you see with your own eyes. But what you think you saw might not be the whole truth. Huh? What do you mean? Take a close look at the sketch of the crime scene. At the time of the incident, Professor Layton and Maya were standing here. Now, we have learned from Miss Brimstone's testimony which way the professor was facing. He was facing this way. Oh! You've testified that the professor confronted Maya face to face. But looking at the sketch of where they were standing, one thing is clear. There's a contradiction in your testimony.
Objection!
Whether they were facing each other or not was of no relevance whatsoever. They were the only ones in that room who was a victim, thus the other must be the witch.
Objection!
I will ask you to wait before jumping to conclusions, Inquisitor. Think back to Miss Brimstone's testimony. She told us that the professor was pointing a knife at someone threateningly. However, you can see in the sketch that he wasn't threatening Maya. So then who was he pointing the knife at?
Hold it!
Luke, what is it? The professor would never point a knife at anyone. I was the one who opened the door to that room, so I was the first witness. I saw no knife. Miss Brimstone's testimony is not reliable. Oh, dearie me, will you look at this child spluttering nonsense and taking badly of his elders? Inquisitor Barton. Yes, my lord. Should pose no difficulty to verify whether or not the victim had a knife. After all, that sparkly golden body of his had been found at the scene of the crime, has it not? Indeed it has, my lord. Court attendants, you heard the judge. Bring the victim into the courtroom. Ugh. Seems like they're going to bring the golden statue. Professor. That's awful, man. Oh no, his arm! I forgot that his arm broke off. Look at that. Did it get damaged in transit? Professor! Professor! So this is the power of the gold transmutation spell. Looks spectacular. Looks like the work of the finest artisans. I assure you it is the work of no artisans, my lord. By the way, the missing arm has not yet been found. I can't believe this, Professor! I suppose we should add the victim to the evidence. The poor professor, who while searching for evidence became evidence. Yeah, we watched it. We saw it break. It's in the room somewhere. It has to be. Where else would it be? This is unfortunate. I thought the evidence would be as good as gold. But although technically it is, we are still no closer to discerning whether or not the victim was holding a knife.
Hold it!
Let me speak, please. Maya. The professor didn't have a knife. And also, there was another person in that room. The real witch was there too. Please believe me. Accused, do I really need to warn you again? Inside the cage, you are to behave like a bird that has forgotten its song. Speak again and you shall be punished. Or are you in a particular hurry to taste the flames of justice, little bird?
Objection!
But it's true that someone else could have been at the crime scene. Look at the sketch. The victim was facing towards someone, and that person wasn't Maya. So, Blue Knight, your ignorance is no longer even a surprise. Huh? You do not know what transpired at this crime scene. You think this man was pointing at another person, you say? Let me tell you this. Nearly everyone in this court other than you knows what Sir Hat was pointing at. What? Well, honorable witnesses, is that not so? Clearly it doesn't. I am Bear Punchinabog the First. Love me some gossip and stories of cults. Elusive like a mist, the magical beast. Its chilling breath brings about death. Oh, dearie, dearie me. You could use some education, Blue Knight. I can offer you private tuition, but it would not come cheap. If the professor wasn't confronting Maya... Witnesses, you will now testify. Tell us all about this other presence at the crime scene. Alright, we're slowly getting Luke back to our side. We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no mystery. Same place, same magic trick. This time, her luck ran out. She dropped that magic scepter. The truth obscured by a twisted ruse. The witch couldn't vanish. It did confuse. It happened because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all these witches. The same magic trick was used? They're referring to an incident from 3 months ago. Much like this incident, a man lost his life to witchcraft in that very room. It was the master of that residence, Sir Newton Littleduke, the alchemist. Oh. He suffered death by strangulation. Finger marks were left on his neck. I'm sorry, how is that magic? He had locked himself in his study and the key was still in his pocket. In other words, no one could have entered that room. The perpetrator disappeared from the locked room, just like in this case. A large amount of powdered medicine was spilt over the floor. Powdered medicine. Yeah, we saw that. Sir Belduke was an alchemist. He possessed various medicinal concoctions. Due to the presence of that powder, had anyone entered that room, clear footprints would have remained, and there were none. That's the kind of mystery that the professor would have loved to solve. Unless there were two unnatural circumstances to Sir Belduke's death, the culprits disappeared from the locked room, and the fact that they appeared not to have walked on the floor. It's almost as if they flew away. In other words, it couldn't have been the Demir magic that was used in my case the other day. Seems like the killer levitated above the floor, strangled Belduke, and vanished into thin air. But what does that have to do with this trial? It's been 3 months since that murder. Despite that, we still haven't been able to find the witch responsible. But now, having eluded us for so long, that witch has finally been brought here before the court. We will have justice. What? No way, now he thinks Maya killed the alchemist too? We weren't even here back then. Someone can explain that to him. Well then, why don't you interrogate the witnesses? Now that you are aware of the connection between the two murders.
Objection!
You can't be serious. 3 months ago, we weren't even... Luke knows we weren't there. Defender, you may interrogate the witnesses. May their testimonies lead us to the truth. Same man.
Hold it!
Would you care to elaborate on that, Miss Brimstone? You could say I'm a scholar, and my knowledge is vast and diverse. I know a thing or two about witchcraft. Therefore, I have a very good idea of the type of magic that must have been used this time. The magic behind this mysterious figure that appeared out of nowhere, glided through the air, and vanished after making the kill. Indeed, yes, and the witch's scepter confirms my theory. Good, are we going to finally figure out what the other thing does? Brilliant deduction. I'm honored to have studied under an excellent teacher, such as yourself, Miss Brimstone. She was his teacher? Actually, I guess that kind of explains a lot. Our occult crime analysts have arrived at the same conclusion. Mr. Wright! I found it! The page about the purple magic gem. The spell's called Familia. Familia? What does it do? The spell of Familia, found with this purple gem, is used to summon a familiar. Familiars appear out of nowhere, glide through the air, vanish when their task is accomplished. They're evil, bloodthirsty spirits used by witches to perform outrageous crimes. Evil spirits? Are you saying that the witch used a familiar too? It was a familiar that took Sir Belgium's life, and now it has appeared again. Sir Silcat was probably trying to ward off the evil spirit with his knife. But what good is a knife against an occult creature? He completed the task given to it by the witch and promptly vanished. This bringing us to a conclusion. That Sir Belduke and Sir Silcat were both killed by the same witch. What? Where do all these staffs keep coming from? Who makes them? What an unexpected turn of events! The two incidents have been shown to be connected, due to the same witch's scepter having been used in both cases. Summons forth a magical familiar from the shadows. Although it possesses a physical form, it is completely weightless. Okay. Oh, this is terrible. Nomaya is accused of 2 murders. Oh, dearie, dearie me. I was right, as always. This gruesome murder will be on the next exam. Please make sure to take notes. Now I shall divulge what really happened. We're all ears, Miss Brimstone. Putting the knife at the witch's familiar.
Hold it!
And he won it with a knife. Did you actually see the familiar? Oh, dearie, dearie me, no, I did not. When that boy opened the door, the familiar had just disappeared. If the boy opened the door sooner, no doubt we all would have seen it. If he were my student, I would have made sure to teach him not to do it. Go ahead, Luke. Defend yourself. Is everything all right, Luke? You seem to be in deep thought about something. No, it's not right at all! Is there something in Miss Brimstone's testimony that you'd like to comment on? That's what I keep telling you! The professor wouldn't point a knife at anyone. Dearie me, what an impertinent child. I'm telling you I saw a knife. I distinctly saw the glint of a sharp blade.
Objection!
this knife issue is gonna be an issue for a while, apparently. At any rate, as we can see now, the victim's arm is missing. As such, there's no proof that he had a knife.
Objection!
That is but a mere detail. It matters not. A mere detail? Matters not? Oh my. Anyhow, I wonder, where could that missing arm be? Yeah, puzzle to be looked into. Oh, somebody said something.
Hang on!
Did you see something? Mister, do you have something you'd like to share with us? Mr. Amir! It's Mr. Amir Punchenbog. First to you, Bluey. The likes of you ought to show some respect to a future man of wealth such as me. Future? You seem to be looking ahead to a future of newly gained riches. I can look wherever I bleed and please. Anyway, why are you looking at me like that? I don't know about that golden bloke's right arm. Excuse me, Mr. Wright? What is it, Isabella? I may be wrong, but there's something about that man. Would you say he looks suspicious? It's not just you, everything about him. It's so shady it makes me want to double check my pockets. Oh no, wait, did he steal the arm to give it in for all of the gems? Mr. Amir, stop pretending you don't know anything about the victim's missing arm. Pretending? I told you I know nothing. Nada, zero, nil. I ain't seen it or heard about it. Put it in my pocket. Put it in your pocket? Have you no decency, man? That wasn't me, honest. Seriously, I've got nothing to do with it.
Objection!
What? Who was that?
Mia! You lying, cheating, good for nothing! You tried to deceive me!
Oh no, it's the pawnbroker. Order, order! Who is that person? You want to know who I am? I'm Price the pawnbroker. And this man is a shameless, cheating bum. He had the nerve to lie to me. What did he lie to you about? I'll tell you. On the day of the crime, Amir came to my shop. Walks up to me saying he's got his hands on the superb work of art. Where is gold dust? I think I know where this is going. A work of art. Could it be? I've got it right here. Huh. Just like I thought. That's... Oh my. Professor! It's the professor's arm! It's pure gold, exquisitely crafted. It was entitled, Towards Tomorrow, something like that. I'd never seen a piece of gold so fine before. I'm so suspecting nothing. I paid that rascal a rather handsome sum. Who would have thought? And what am I hearing now? That it was a human arm, no less. You, sir, are a monster. You're as bad as a witch's familiar yourself. I didn't know it was his arm, I swear. When I saw it, it was already like that. What do you mean? I was last to the scene, and it caught my eye right away. The golden arm pointing up at the ceiling with such optimism and authority. I thought it looks like it's showing me the way to better, brighter, richer tomorrow. To me, it was a work of art, a precious one at that. And then it found its way into your pocket, and you pawned it. You mounted it on a crude stand, gave it a tawdry title, and passed it off as some kind of sculpture. Don't try and look away from the truth now. Darn it! I can look wherever I darn please. I'll look away from the facts and forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. That's Amir Punchenbog's motto. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, dude. Well, he's not holding a knife. Where were we now? Ah, yes, the victim's arm has now been successfully reattached by one of our masterful craftsmen. Knights of the court, you may resume the Inquisition. At least one thing's clear now. As everyone can see, the victim definitely wasn't holding a knife. How dearie, dearie me! It seems I may have been mistaken after all. When you think about it, the victim had already been turned to gold when we entered the room. According to Mrs. testimonies, that was the case, yeah? Well, then I'm sure you'll concede that it was easy to mistake that glittering pointing finger for a knife. Indeed, the victim's finger has a glint to it, resembling that of a sword's edge. Such a sense of power and intensity. It's enough to send a shiver down my spine, the spine of anyone being pointed at. No puzzle is a match for the power of the Professor's pointing finger. I guess no one remembers I'm known for pointing like that, too. I think your pointing finger makes quite an impression too, Mr. Wright. She's just taking pity on me. Is that all you had to say, Sir Blue Knight? Huh? As I said before, whether the victim had a knife or not, it's completely irrelevant. Yeah, what he said. You better apologize to me now. Badgering me for no reason like that. Is that all there is to it? That arm holds some other clues. We've come this far. Maybe there's something else you could ask about. She's right, I need to ask some more questions. Well then, Mr. Amir? Perhaps you could tell me one more thing about that arm. Where was it lying? You found the arm on the floor, pointing upwards, you said. Yeah, I did. Finders keepers, I say. Pointing straight up at the ceiling. The arm somehow happened to fall down in such a way that it landed upright. The odds of that. Actually, that reminds me of a puzzle. Now, if you could just show us on this floor plan here. I'd like to know the exact spot where you found the victim's arm. Sure, I remember that well. It was right there. Yes. What? That's where you would expect it to have fallen. But he was pointing the other direction. Now, if that's where it was, something's definitely not right. If you keep looking at that sketch so intensely, you shall burn a hole in it. Or perhaps you're going to claim there's a contradiction in it somewhere? This arm is the final clue left by the Professor. Even after turning to gold, he was pointing out something important. Namely, the key to solving this case. Is it because it was pointing straight up and that the staff would have knocked it over? I mean, clearly there's a problem. Of course there's a problem. And where would that be precisely? The Professor's arm has armed me with some vital evidence. Its location leads to a huge contradiction. In that case, why don't you enlighten us and show us the so-called contradiction? What contradiction does the victim's arm create? Because if she was there, and he was there, and it was facing straight up, this would have knocked it over. Because the clanking of the scepter was the last thing everybody heard, right?
Got it!
The contradiction is right here. And this is the witch's scepter. Let's go over the order of events as per the witnesses' testimonies. First, the witch cast a spell on the Professor, turning him to gold. When all of you rushed to the crime scene, the golden statue fell down, making a loud noise. Next, the witch dropped the scepter. Why is it zoomed in on Maya during that sentence? She was not the witch. What are you getting at, Sir Blue Knight? All witnesses agree with this order of events. Good. That's right. They all agree that's how it happened. But then there's the arm. What about it? Spit it out. Let's assume that Maya was the witch. Now look at the sketch again. The witch dropped the scepter after having turned the Professor into gold. The scepter tumbled along the floor. and was found here as asserted by the prosecution. However, that would be impossible. There's no way it could have been there. Oh, I see it now. Yeah, the arm. It was... I'm glad you seem to have noticed. The victim's arm was on the floor right here, standing on its end. Therefore, the scepter couldn't possibly have fallen that way. Ergo, it couldn't have been the defendant who dropped the scepter. In other words, Maya is not a witch. Order, order, order! What can this be? The Inquisition's reasoning has been proven invalid through just one single piece of unusual evidence. Call it Layton's magical touch. The professor sacrificed his arm to give us just the evidence we needed to turn this thing around. That was amazing, Mr. Wright! Professor?
Objection!
An admirable deduction, Sir Blue Knight, that I cannot deny. Even if we are to assume your reasoning is correct, and that girl in the cage is not a witch. Even if, in the many trials I have attended, I have become well versed in certain aspects of magic. I'm all too aware of its potential to confuse people, befuddle their minds, and make their memories hazy. No one can resist such a maddening influence. What are you trying to say, Inquisitor? The scepter could not have tumbled across the floor if the arm were in its way. However, can we be sure that is where the arm was? Are all the witnesses able to confirm its location at the time?
Objection!
We've heard what they had to say several times now. They agreed that the scepter fell after the victim fell over.
Objection!
And yet, no one actually saw the scepter being dropped. Witnesses, think back to that incident once more. Did the golden statue fall over first, or did the staff fall before it? Think carefully about what you have seen and heard. Everything hinges on your testimonies. May your words guide us to the truth and decide the fate of this caged witch. He's leading the witnesses again. They all mixed up their locations. I was about to get ready to leave, but it seems there's no need for further questioning. Sorry, I was about to get ready to leave, but it seems there is a need for further questioning. Justify once more, witnesses. Those of the golden statue and the Telea Magica. I was only focusing on the professor, so I don't remember much else. I don't know, I got there last. I set things glittering away, so I couldn't see much else. Bewitched by love or beloved by a witch, the poor cove knows not which is which. Dearie me, I remember. How obvious it seems now. The staff was dropped before the statue fell over. Wait a minute. What did you all said just now? It's totally different from your previous testimonies. He keeps leading them. Sir Blue Knight. You're starting to notice it now, aren't you? Notice the way of magic, such as the effect of the black art tends to have upon those who witness it. Talking about your black art of leading the witness? Witnesses are not lying, but simply having trouble remembering the truth. What a convenient excuse. Confronted with magic, their brains turn to mush, huh? Ever since our ancestors drank from the fountains of wisdom and obtained the capacity for reason. Witchcraft has been the one thing to remain incomprehensible, even to the most intelligent of us. Nevertheless, the onus is on us to stand up against magic and pass judgment on these witches. And so here we are doing battle with weapons of the wise. Words. With words, we shall pass judgment upon this supposed witch. Sorry, I was speaking in Phoenix's voice. I've changed his voice 1,000 times. Defender, you may begin your interrogation and help us arrive at the truth. Okay, he was focusing on the professor, though, so he knows when he fell.
Hold it!
Luke, you said before that you heard the scepter fall on the floor. And that was after the professor fell over. Don't let this guy lead you astray. I thought so. I mean, I thought so before, but now... The more I think about it, the less certain I am that I actually heard it. How could I have been paying attention to anything else when the professor was... He was... My memories of everything else look too fuzzy. I guess Luke was too shocked to take in his surroundings and notice anything else. I doubt I'll get any more information on him for now. Poor buddy. I'm sorry, Luke. I understand how hard this is for you. Let's move on to the next witness.
Hold it!
And that thing would be... the arm of that shiny gent next to you, Bluey. Poor Professor Layton. More valued now than ever before. And you didn't notice the scepter on the floor. No, I wasn't even looking at the floor. My eyes were kind of glued to my new source of income. If anything, I may have looked up at the ceiling since that was where it was pointing. Finders keepers, eh? Into my pocket it went. I'll leave him to that. Someone arrest this guy, please. Yeah, he did just steal from the place. Even if it wasn't the part of the body, part of the victim's body, he still stole from the alchemist's house. Like, he didn't know. He's not helpful at all. I'll press it anyway. Would you mind translating your song into plain speech? I shall simplify it once more just for you, esteemed knight of the court. First of all, let's talk about love. That's a pretty neat slang rhyme for cove. A cove is a slang for a chap, you see? I think the teacher has said, oh, no.
Hang on!
Why are you distracted? Mr. Amiri seemed to be pondering something very deeply. You caught me unawares there, Bluey. Something in Mr. Berkeley's statement catch your attention just now? Nah, nothing particular. I was just thinking. That bard song really got to me. I really kind of felt it in my heart. I appreciate your appreciation of my art. You know, I meant to ask you something. Why don't you become a private bard? You could sing all about the heroic life of Amir Punchenbog the First. I could gladly sing of your adventures if it pleases you, kind sir. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Tell me what you got. Very well, as per your request. Oh, grand Amir Punchenbog the First. Will new fortune quench your thirst? Having bravely filched the golden arm, now you've duped the pawn shop man. I hope my song was to your liking, sir. Yeah, very poetic. I'm so glad we're having this conversation. Your drinking manner is quite inspiring. But whatever is that skull bottle hiding? Can we move on, please? So we've learned nothing useful at all, just that Amir has questionable taste in music. Sometimes it's best not to probe too deeply, sir. Well then, let's just pretend we heard none of that and proceed with the interrogation. Yes, please.
Hold it!
But you haven't said anything about that until now. Well, that couldn't have been helped. How so? Now, everyone, listen well. Pencils in hand, be sure to take notes. Miss Primstone's lesson number 4. Memories are not always pretty. Some things are better forgotten. Trying to remember them only leads to trouble. This will be in the exam. You're saying that the victim fell over and his arm broke off after the scepter was dropped. Are you not? Correct, well done. And so, the contradiction is no more.
Objection!
But that's inconsistent with all the previous testimonies.
Objection!
You're quick to forget what I have told you, so idiots. The witnesses are not lying, they are merely having trouble remembering the truth. Unless you are utmost to find the truth within what they say. It's no use. These guys aren't making any sense. What Inquisitor Bondham said must be true. They've been confused by magic. This fella. We always try to make sense of what we see. So when what we see makes no sense, we lose track of what's real. I guess that makes cross-examination a little pointless. At least when everyone here believes it's so easy to get confused by magic. Well, we need to do something or else Maya will be done for. I'll listen to the witnesses again and try to find something of use. Good luck! Okay. My only thought is not to probe when he's singing.
Hold it!
I have to go through this whole thing. I can't skip ahead. Then we have the word witch, and it's homophone witch. Right. Next we have the delightful consonants of beloved and bewitched. This is ultimately a song about confusion. I'm confused. To be honest, there's nothing more to it. It's merely an artistic expression of my feelings. So it's got nothing to do with this case, does it? I am a well of melodious words and of poetic music. That's my only claim. Oh dearie, dearie me. Luke.
Hang on!
Luke, would you like to say something? Oh, sorry. Guess I spaced out a bit. What is it, Mr. Wright? You seem to be thinking pretty hard about something during Mr. Birdley's song. Testimony just now. Is there something you would like to share with us? Well, I've been thinking about what Mr. Bondham said a while ago. What was that, exactly? That humans who witness magic become confused and lose sight of what's real. And they end up not knowing what actually happened. Well, I was thinking Mr. Bondham might be right. Are we gonna testify of the parrot? Because Luke can understand animals? It's better than the testimony of the parrot in the first game. And then it occurred to me that there might be a way. I mean, we do have with us a witness who isn't human. Oh dearie, dearie me. The situation seems oddly familiar. I asked him earlier if he remembers the events clearly or not. He said he has a memory better than an elephant and remembers everything perfectly well. That's right. I almost forgot. You can talk to animals. Mr. Wright, I know it sounds crazy, but please let me try. Let me ask Cracker to testify. Oh dearie, dearie me. Should I? I mean, why not? You've done it before. I'm stuck now anyway, and the witnesses' testimonies are all over the place. A new testimony would be a wild card, but it would just be the thing to turn this trial on its head. It's a crazy idea. If I make a mistake now, it'll put me in a tight spot. I think we're already in a tight spot here, Phoenix. Defender, are you still with us? This is not the time or place for daydreaming. What do you intend to do? This is that you've exhausted all means for a counterattack, Sir Knight. In blue. Is it not time you drop your sword? Oh, jeez. If you have no further questions for the witnesses, Defender, I will consider your interrogation finished. Will it be then? Are we finished here? I have 0 time to think it over. Better make a choice now. Should I summon the parrot? Nah. I'll pass. We've been through this already. We've been through this before. Your Honor, the defense would like to summon a new witness. A new witness, you say? I think Luke is on our side now. Who do you have in mind? It's a witness you all know. By the name of Mr. Cracker. Mr. Cracker? I know of no man by that name. Mr. Cracker. The defense summons its new witness. Mr. Cracker the parrot. A parrot as a witness. How familiar.
Objection!
This is the witch's court. Joking around will be considered contempt of court.
Objection!
Mr. Cracker witnessed the crime. He saw it happen, and he heard it too. He's as valid a witness as the others.
Objection!
No, no, no. That bird is nothing but a pet animal. Referring to it as a mister will not change that.
Objection!
Humans are confused by magic to the extent that they lose sight of what's real. That's what you yourself said, Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum.
Objection!
Calling me by my full name does not help justify such rash foolishness. The Inquisition is against interrogating a parrot. By the way, kind sirs, I suppose you should know that my dear companion never forgets a sound he hears. He remembers everything he hears, huh? Can he mimic it? It's definitely worth asking Cracker to testify. Can he mimic it so we're not relying on Luke's translation? The court sees the situation as follows. The witnesses' testimonies do not hold together. In fact, they are as erratic as the bard's songs. I cannot see this trial getting any more confusing. Very well, the defense may summon its avian witness. Can you believe it? What's up with Mr. Blue Suit? Summoning a parrot as a witness? Is this summoning? Do you mean like how the familiar was summoned? By hook or by crook. I'll do whatever I can to save Maya. Be it summoning a parrot or a familiar. Whatever it takes. Within the boundaries of the law, of course. He always loses his head when Maya's in trouble. I love how it's sitting on Luke and he's just super happy about it.
Objection!
Oh shoot, I didn't read it. Alright, so, Mr. Cracker, that's probably what it said. Rewind and see what it said, I have no idea. I was too amused at him standing on Luke's head. Not so fast, I hardly even know where to begin, but... First of all, what's the matter with that boy looking so pleased with himself? Exactly! I'm saying, he does look so happy. He looks like the cat that got the cream. Ah, that'd be me, wouldn't it? Don't mind me. Just think of me as a perch for Cracker, that's all. And just what is the purpose of questioning a bird? A parrot may be able to repeat what others say, but it cannot talk on
Objection!
It's precisely because Cracker doesn't talk. In his own words, he's certain to tell us the truth. What? Cracker remembers every sound he hears, even just once. Absolute perfection. So let's have him testify exactly what he heard. And if Cracker can repeat every sound, I say this should be a valuable testimony. I cannot believe this is happening. A witness that cannot talk will not lie either. This idea is much to my liking. Well then, may our next witness, Cracker, testify to the court. I wish to know exactly what you heard from the beginning of the incident. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so that was the door opening.
Objection!
What's this now? Why, those are the sounds of the incident. Exactly as Cracker heard them. He heard Goldor after the clang? That doesn't make any sense. Ludicrous. Evidently this is nothing but a farce after all. What do you mean, Inquisitor Barnum? I must admit I found the parrot's testimony quite impressive. Even if that bird can accurately recall the sounds. It is clearly useless when it comes to the order of events. You mean there's a problem with the order? Yeah. First the witch used magic to turn the victim into gold. Then the witnesses arrived. It's reasonable to presume they cried out in terror when they did so. Yet, this testimony does not accurately convey such an order of events. It starts with a sudden scream, followed by the door abruptly opening, and then a witness crying out. Next we heard the victim, having turned into gold, falling down. So far, so it's reasonable. The The real issue is as follows. The parrot seems to think that the witch cast her spell after the witness is entered. Such a suggestion is inconceivable. The reason is simple. At the time, the victim has already been turned to gold. Definitely wasn't. Ah! Jesus, as you're saying, Gustavana. The parrot's capacity for imitation is excellent. I will concede that its testimony does have some entertainment value. However, this animal's testimony cannot be allowed to stand as proof in this honorable court of law. Something's happening. Don't write Cracker off just like that. Do you now see how foolish you were to summon this parrot as a witness? Not good, Phoenix. Not good at all. Should I really go through with this cross-examination? When it feels like everyone in this court is against me? I mean, always. Always, buddy. They're always against you. The defense wishes to cross-examine the witness. What? Are you serious? Did you not hear what I said? Are you choosing to ignore my words? Yes, I am. A witness that cannot talk cannot lie either. This parrot's testimony is the naked truth. He's simply repeating the sounds as he heard them. It's humans who make assumptions about the meaning of those sounds and arbitrarily decide whether the testimony is good or not. But as knights of the court, shouldn't we be striving to uncover the truth, to which this parrot holds the key? The truth, you say? Very well. Show us the truth that this bird purportedly knows. Interrogate that parrot. Meanwhile, I shall enjoy the show. What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Do you think it's hopeless? Thanks, Espella. Defender, you may interrogate the witness. Okay. We're gonna press everything. Make sure that we understand things.
Hold it!
That is Maya screaming. Oh, yeah, I may have let out a teeny scream. I was so horrified when the professor suddenly turned into gold like that, right before my eyes. Okay, so... he did turn to gold before everything happened.
Objection!
That's when... What now, Barnum? I'm trying to have a conversation. The accused seems to yearn for the flames as much as she cannot wait to receive her punishment. If she wishes to live any longer, she would be wise to remain silent. I'm really sorry. I won't talk again, I promise. Unfortunately for you, so Blue Knights, there's no way you can prove that it was the voice of the accused.
Objection!
You're wrong, Inquisitor. All we need to do is have her voice print analyzed, and we'll know straight away. Analyze what? A voice print? It's, nothing. Just, forget what I said. Oh boy. This world is driving me crazy. Well, then you may carry on with the interrogation. Ugh. Okay.
Hold it!
Was that the sound of a door being opened?
La 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 la!
Oh, you have something to say, Bard?
Hang on!
Excuse me, Mr. Birdley? How may I help you, sir? I've been meaning to ask before, but why are you still on the witness stand? Are you suggesting I should leave my dear partner alone with strangers who cannot even sing? Huh? The very sight of Cracker causes the finest songs to effortlessly form in my mind. Stilton, cheddar, or smoked cheese. I like my crackers, with any of these. That was the cracker song. It's not crisp and full of flavor. Right. Anyway, would you mind remaining quiet for the rest of Cracker's cross-examination? So, got the munchies. Now continue the interrogation. Okay, so I don't want to talk to him?
Hold it!
Okay.
La 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 la!
La 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 yourself. He seems to be saying, "Don't ask me, mate." So helpful. Defending this is getting us nowhere. It would seem so, Your Honor. Yeah, I can see that myself. By the way, I was the one who opened the door. I was worried about the professor, so I barged right into the room. Oh, Luke.
Hold it!
I think we all can agree that this sounds like Miss Brimstone, right? When we entered the room, we all kind of reacted in surprise.
Hang on!
Mr. Birdley, can I ask you something? So many questions for Birdley the Bard, but most of them I shall disregard. I have felt your keen gaze upon me for a while now. You can't help admiring me, can you? The statement you heard earlier, was there anything you'd like to comment on? I wonder if there was. My peerless companion, what do you think? Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Oh, Mr. Wright, he's imitating you perfectly. How adorable. Can't say I share your love for the bird, Isabella. It feels like he's mocking me. Okay, clearly talking to Birdley is stupid.
Hold it!
La 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 la!
But I guess the teacher's voice stifled all the rest. Miss Brimstone is known for her stentorian voice of authority, allowing her to easily rise above the chatter of unruly children. Her voice would still be ringing in people's ears long after her class had finished. Oh, it takes me back. If only Maya's scream was this easily recognizable. Right, let's move on to the next sound. This is where it gets weird.
Hold it!
That must be the sound of the professor falling, I guess. Professor,
La 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 la!
you... I'm not talking to you, Bard. I guess I better not pursue this one. Look, you poor thing. Okay, this is where it gets confusing.
Hold it!
That's the magic incantation, isn't it?
Objection!
Preposterous. At this stage, the victim was already on the floor. The transmutation spell had to have been used much earlier than that. Luke, what about you? Did you hear the incantation too?
La 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 la!
Okay, Birdley, what? Did you hear the incantation? Mr. Birdley, can I ask you something? So many questions for Birdley the Bard, but this is the much disregard. Oh, you are useless.
Hold it!
Objection! La 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 la!
I'm ignoring you, Birdley. I'm sorry. I can't seem to remember. After I saw the professor in that state, my memory of what happened next just isn't clear. I'm sorry, Luke. I know this is very painful for you. Anyhow, the important thing is that incantation. Somehow I get the feeling there's something odd about it. It just doesn't seem quite right. I mean, he's not saying gold door. He's saying go door. Maybe that's the problem. Do you think miss anything important in Mr. Cracker's testimony? There does seem to be a fundamental problem with what he repeated. What if the incantation came after the professor was turned to gold? But Mr. Cracker can't tell lies, right? Yeah, he can only repeat the sounds he's heard. Maybe we're just misinterpreting Cracker's testimony? For the time being, let's have another look at the court record in the Grand Grimoire. Of course. Okay, I think it's the fact that it's saying go door. Like go door. Go to the door? Not goal door.
Objection!
Okay. We're getting somewhere. There is a critical contradiction in this testimony. We are all aware of that, Sir Blue Knight. This contradiction is between your so-called desire to find the truth and the fact that you are interrogating a parrot. Oh, shut up, it works. That's not what I'm talking about, Inquisitor. There's a contradiction here that makes one thing particularly clear. The fact that we have clearly all made a wrong assumption. How so? Luke, can you ask Cracker to repeat the incantation once more? Right you are. Go door! Go door! Go door. According to the Grand Grimoire, the name of the gold transmutation spell is Goldor. Now, Inquisitor, it would seem to me that the spell we've just heard is in fact a different one entirely. Well, I never. Unbelievable. Goldor and Godor.
Objection!
This is ridiculous. Wretched bird must have misheard the incantation.
Objection!
I don't think you can argue that. Cracker's able to imitate sounds perfectly. The incantation was indeed misheard, but only by people hearing it.
Objection!
The victim was found already in his golden state. That is proof enough that the Goldor spell was used.
Objection!
Not at that time. But you're forgetting that Cracker heard this incantation after the spell had already taken place. Which makes it entirely possible that this Godor spell was used as well. In other words, another spell besides the gold transportation magic must also have been used. Another spell that we haven't yet considered. Now, the next question that needs to be asked is just what is this Godor spell?
Objection!
Utter foolishness. This is absurd. As convenient as it would be for you, there's no way that a spell by the name of Godor exists. Oh, Mr. Wright! Huh? What is it? I found it. The page about the spell, Godor. It's listed in the Grand Grimoire. Right here. It exists. What? What's it do? What's it do? Order! Order! I demand order. Just like I thought. Cracker remembered it exactly. But then, what kind of magic is this Godor? Well, Lord, the Grand Grimoire describes it in the following way. Godor creates a portal on two sides of green-colored walls. The portal will disappear after 5 minutes. Oh, we're not in a locked room anymore, folks. And that butler is looking more and more suspicious. Creates a portal on green-colored walls. A portal spell. Wasn't he wearing a different gem, too? He was wearing the purple gem before, and now he's wearing the green one? Oh my goodness. Aren't you a lucky man? It appears even the Grand Grimoire is on your side. wearing this purple one the other day because he brought my attention to it. Remember, it was like, oh, it's an amethyst. And then today he was wearing green. So it's like he swapped it out so that it looked like it was a familiar and not a portal spell. Oh my goodness! However, there's a fatal flaw in your explanation. Yeah, he definitely switched it out, so I had to figure out how to prove that it was in the staff at the moment. What flaw is that, Inquisitor? It's really quite simple. Think back to how the alchemist's study looked at the time of the incident. Do you remember any green walls? Because I do not. There were none. All the walls were coated with white plaster. In other words, it was impossible to use Godor in that room. You have visited that alchemist's study since the incident. I remember very well that all the walls in that room were a dull shade of white. Your little theory was interesting, Sir Knight, but it has proven to be nothing more than that, a mere wild guess. As long as you cannot prove that this Godor spell was used, your little theory shall be considered no further. I can prove it. It was green behind the painting. In all honesty, I was very surprised to learn of such a spell's existence. However, as long as it's impossible to have used the spell at a crime scene, your deduction leads us nowhere. So let me ask you now. Yes, Your Honor. Do you, perchance, have any proof that you can show us? Can you prove that it was feasible for the witch to have used Godor in that room? This is no coincidence. That spell must have been used at the crime scene. Do I have the proof that it was even possible to use Godor? Naturally. It's been on my mind for a while. That inexplicable mark. It has to be that evidence that ties up all the loose ends. The defense wishes to present evidence. Do I have profiles? I do have profiles. Self-proclaimed apprentice? Anyway. Impossible. Determination in your eyes makes me think you would. Now then, we shall allow the defense to present its evidence to the court. Present the proof that the spell Godor was used at the scene of the crime. Here.
Take that!
I was on it. The walls in the study are coated with white plaster. Not all of them, though. There's just one spot, which is green. Oh, there is? I noticed when investigating the crime scene. You may recall that there was a small painting behind the desk. And for some reason, the wall behind it was painted green. It was what? I'll see that painting myself, too. If we were looking at this floor plan, I'd say it was around here. Mr. Wright, unmark the floor plan. It's been bothering me since I saw it. But now it's clear what it was. At the time of the incident, a portal opened up behind that painting. In other words, that was the wall utilized for the spell Godor.
Objection!
You're so persistent. You just want a portal to be there so much, don't you? The wall behind the painting was green, and that's a fact. Instantly, I remember that painting well. It was a small landscape piece. About the size of, say, an open Grand Grimoire. Yes, it was about that size indeed. A small, adorable picture. Even if a portal had opened in that small patch of green, no person would be able to pass through it. In fact, they'd just be about to put their arm through it the most. I'm starting to think I know what happened to the artist. So will you please explain how a witch could possibly have escaped through a portal this small? He's right, Mr. Wright. No one could have got through a portal that small. Have you anything to say? Or are you so crushed by the realization that your mistake that words fail you? portal was too small for a person. Doesn't require much thinking to figure that out. But that aside, a very obvious question remains. If it wasn't a human, then what could have passed through that portal? Which is an interesting spin on things. Why don't you answer your own question? Thomas, if you know everything, so please enlighten us. A small portal was opened in the wall of the crime scene. And I have all the clues as to what that could mean. What went through the portal was familiar? I was thinking the staff, because like with the staff, no human could have passed through the portal that small. And the witch couldn't have pulled that. So you're finally forsaking your mistaken assumptions. I haven't finished, Inquisitor. The fact remains that something else could have passed through that portal. Well, it lasted for 5 minutes. Oh, and just what would that be, Sir Leonard? The portal was created after the professor had returned. The witch had a good reason behind that. She must have had to move something through that portal. Wait a second. He was turned to gold, and then she moved the staff through the portal. So how did it still end up on that other side? After the fact. Let's play it out and see what happens. You've captured my curiosity. I'd like to know what passed through the portal. Tell us what the witch used that magic portal for. Staff.
Take that!
Considering the states of the crime scene, there's just one possible answer. Because the staff is right beside where that portal was. And that is Italia Magica.
Objection!
What's this now? Italia Magica was found at this crime scene. The portal has nothing to do with it.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, you're making the wrong assumption. Wrong assumption? The witch wasn't trying to remove evidence from the crime scene. She wanted to plant it. She threw the witch's scepter into the room through the portal.
Objection!
You and your crazy theories. Do you even realize what you're saying? If she threw the staff into the room, that means... Exactly. She did it to deceive us. Her goal was to make us draw the wrong conclusion. When the incident took place, the witch herself wasn't in the room. She cast a spell from outside. What? Yeah, no, that's what's not making sense, because it has to be the closest target. So... right? That's what it says for Goldor. The spell will transmute the closest target within range. Order! Order! Order, I say! And that's not all. There's even more proof that the staff was thrown into the room from the outside. What proof? That proof is none other than Professor Layton's previously severed right arm. The victim's arm? How does that prove anything? None of the witnesses have testified they saw the witch's specter. However, a few of them claim to have heard it rattling across the floor. That's right. Please take a look at this floor plan. Since the arm was standing upright here, we know the defendant dropped the scepter. Now think about it. Where would you need to drop the scepter from in order for it to end up here? Oh! That's right. The scepter could only have come from the small portal created by the spell Godor. Dealing with magic and possibilities of magic in it's like evidence in court. It's very interesting. At least it follows the laws. Like it has the laws of magic. This is most unexpected. The witch wasn't in the room when the crime occurred. Or at least, that's the defense's claim. It's the only thing that explains all the contradictions we've run into.
Objection!
Is this tie looking particularly pink today? I think his tie is looking particularly pink today. Simply Knight, with that imagination of yours, you could aspire to write fantasy stories. A nice try, I must admit. However, this line of assertion is futile. There's a glaring contradiction in your words. Another contradiction? Whatever are you referring to, Mr. This is the Talia Magica that was used in this incident. As we have established, there are 2 magic gems in it. One for the gold transmutation spell, gold ore, and one for the shadow familiar spell from Which is in possession of the staff and not have been able to cast gold ore. Yes, you're absolutely right. But you can't write off all the evidence supporting my theory as mere coincidence. Why must your agreement always be followed by a but? What I'm getting at is this Talia Magica is not genuine. Not genuine. That's right. And naturally, the one responsible for this deception is the real culprits of the crime. Enough of the suspense. It's too much for a man of my age. The defense shall reveal what is meant by this so-called deception. Part of the deception is this one. Yeah.
Got it!
It's easy enough. First, I want to clarify one thing. Can we be certain that the Talia Magica in question is authentic? Without doubt. The metal rod in its center is called the Spina Magica. The witch's mark at its tip is clearly visible and highly detailed. It's impossible to forge, even by the finest craftsman in all of Labyrinthia. I can guarantee you its authenticity. Not that anyone would want to forge it. That leaves us with only one possibility. The forgery in question is the Familia magic gem. What? A forged magic gem?
Objection!
That is an insult to our investigators.
Objection!
Only witches can use the power of these magic gems, can't they? So tell me, how can you know whether a magic gem is the real thing or not?
Objection!
Hold it there. We know for certain that the spell gold ore was used. It's undoubtedly not forged. But what about Familia? Did anyone actually see a familiar at the crime scene? That's 3 months ago, when an investigation was carried out to search Belduke's death. The results yielded the following conclusion. The spell Familia had been used to summon a familiar, which in turn carried out the murder. And the witch used exactly that to her advantage. Another similar incident at the same crime scene. Don't you think that would be the perfect opportunity for the witch to frame the defendant for her crimes? The defendant would be blamed for both the professor and Sir Belduke's deaths. And she'd be taken for the real witch. Oh. And that was the real culprit's objective. There's a chapter in the Magic Archive, an old collection of tales of the occult, about the way to test whether or not a magic gem is genuine. How can we test it, Lord? It's very simple. A genuine magic gem is composed of a mineral with density lower than that of pure water. Oh, all you need to do do is see if the magic gem floats on water. That is simple indeed. All non-magical minerals in our world, with the exception of Sabionite and a few other special kinds, sink in water. These eerily sparkling magic gems, however, will never sink when put to water. Cliff, remove the magic gem for immediate examination. The magic gem's a fake? What's up with this trial? This is not how it was supposed to be. It's all right, darling. Don't cry. You'll get to see a witch burning today. Sir Barnum never disappoints. Hush now. There. These people are sick. Defender? If your theory is correct, this could be the biggest occult crime in history. But another important question remains. I wonder if you can answer it. Who is the supposed real witch that threw the Talia Magica through the portal? Right? Because it's... the butlers! The real witch. There's only one person that comes to mind. Yep, only one person. Frankly, I still find it hard to believe. It's the only possibility. As I indict her, there'll be no turning back. I guess the butler was the female? Knowing the consequences, should I give them her name? Oh, that's true. I know what's gonna happen. That she'll burn and all that. Mr. Wright. In Labyrinthia, witches are punished by fire. I know you think that's going too far. But even in a world that seems so insane to you, those who take the lives of others must be punished. That's a universal law, isn't it? She turned the professor into a golden statue. And that's not all. She took the life of the alchemist, too. Now she's trying to pin the whole thing on mine. I can't just let her get away with that. Well then, defense, let's hear your theory. Who is this witch responsible for using the golden door and then throwing the scepter through the resulting portal?
Take that!
When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be true. There's only one logical possibility. It has to be that person. The real witch is Jean Grey Earl. Grey Earl? Wait, isn't that the butler who serves with Sir Belduke? That's correct.
Objection!
Shh. What's this about? You seem to love rolling out these ridiculous suggestions, but you ignore the obvious. Jean Grey Earl is male. Okay, alright, I thought so. Inquisitor Barnum, tell me one thing. Is it only females who can be witches? Are you daft? Of course it's only females. Never in the history of this court has there ever been a male witch. So utterly ignorant. You should be ashamed of yourself. Alright, well, I'd like to ask another question. Is Jean Grey Earl really a male? What? What a ludicrous question. The defense is certain that Jean Grey Earl is the witch responsible for using magic on Professor Layton.
Objection!
Will you stop fooling around? This is a groundless accusation.
Objection!
Groundless? It was her room. Groundless, you say. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong. The other side of the wall was her room. At the time of the crime, Jean Grey Earl was in the room next to the alchemist's study. One of the walls in that very room was painted green. It was. What's more, that green wall was the one adjacent to Sir Belduke's study. What? This is madness! Inquisitor Pod, quickly, have the butler summoned to the court. Have Jean Greyor brought here immediately. Certainly, my lord. It shall be done.
There is no need for that.
Oh, you're there.
I am here. I shall come down right away.
Ah, it's you.
Well then, Mr. Wright. Shall we begin?
I don't like your tone. Jean Greyor. It would seem this trial has turned in a new direction. I think we all need a bit of time to take it in. We should take a brief intermission. In position, defense, sharpen your swords and wits to prepare yourselves for the next stage of this battle. Yes, Your Honor. It shall be done, my lord. By the time we resume the examination into the magic gem should have ended as well. All you're doing is dropping it in water. Now the court is adjourned for a brief intermission. Whew, things are ramping up, folks. Poor Layton. Oh my gosh. And Luke. Ugh. Okay. Well, not much to say. I kind of saw it coming from that gem being... Yeah, Jean was very suspicious. But that gem being different. And then whenever the gem was different, then seeing the staff, I was like, wait a second. Did she swap it? So we'll see the investigation into the gem. And I think we're here at, like, final boss mode. Part 2 of the trial being what it normally will be. Not much more to say. Stick around, stay tuned. Subscribe, I guess. And we'll see you next time. The part 2 of the trial, where we will put Jean Greyor on the stand and see what she has to say. I will talk to you guys then.